Welcome back to Healy Bars. This is Harry Eddy. I'm going to introduce the second generation Horizon bar for the GTL. So to streamline the process, we've already removed the factory handlebars. So going forward, we've already put on our adapters and we supply hex nuts. They're a 13 millimeter head and snug those up. Very difficult to torque them, but usually with a wrench that long you can lay into them quite a bit to make sure they're nice and snug. And at this point we're going to mount the riser system, which already has all our upper joints in place, and adjust the knurling so it sits equally. And then we put our fork clamp. Make sure you start all four of these before you start tightening anything down. And at this point, we want to tighten the forward screws first. And because we're going to make a rough adjustment, the taller the rider is, the more these are going to be forward. The shorter and the greater the reach you want to, or the reduction in reach you want to make, you got to bring these back more. I can see that I've got it lined up nice left to right, same amount of knurling per side. So I'm just going to get in there and just give that a little bit of torque. So what we're going to do is make a couple rough adjustments. So this is all the way in its rearmost position, you can see that. We're going to move it forward just a little bit so we're not already up against the stop. And we're going to try right about there as a starting point. And if you look carefully down here, there's a series of machine dots, and we use the split right here on the this split here, and the dots so you can get in there and mirror both sides. At this point, we can do this very easily by just sighting, just looking down this edge and making it parallel with that edge, which is right about there. Now what we want to do here, just want to loosen these 4 bolts. So right in here is the pinch bolt that clamps the forward back adjustment. I'm going to loosen that, and we'll take another close-up of this, but again there's little dots here and there's a single dot on the lower portion, and you use that as your guide. It's good for most people, and from there you can fine-tune it just like you have an adjustable seat and steering wheel in your car. You're going to get that. So we're going to pick up the handlebars. So there's two of them. There's a left and a right, obviously. The hole is further up. So we're going to take this bar. We're going to grab the throttle housing. We're going to slide it in. We've already loosened this screw, but we're going to take this one completely out. And this radial groove is going to intersect with this bolt. So you bring this until it's flush, put the bolt back through. We're just going to tighten this hand tight right now because we don't know what orientation we're going to need yet. So we line up that screw, make sure it engages in the threaded nut on the bottom of the housing, and snug that in place. At this point, we're going to bring the top back into position and sit it down like that. And we're going to put this in up from the bottom. Put that up from the bottom and tighten that up. Sometimes it's a little easier to get at the screw. Make sure you have enough slack here, and you can tip it up at this angle and get at that. But remember, this is like a wood screw. You tighten it into plastic so when it stops. Now we put this rear cover, bottom cover on. We want to make sure this small hole goes towards the front. This goes towards the back. So the grommet's going to end up fitting into there. And this can be a little tricky to get in here. But make sure this rubber grommet slides down, and you want the grommet, the rubber part, to be within that plastic zone there. Bring that up and click the back into place like that. And then the forward half will now you just need to put the forward screw in, and this side's done. Now we're going to put the front brake master cylinder in place. It's fairly simple and straightforward. So we'll just tighten that up and put that in place. Now you want to leave a bit of a gap here so when you close it, there's room around the control housings. Okay, the first thing that I've done here is I've loosened the two screws here, made sure that the handlebar was in flush with the end, and I've rotated this such that the buttons are in a good location. Then I rotated the master cylinder into a good elevation clocking, and then went ahead and tightened these guys down. So there's the right handlebar, and it's all on. Now we'll go over and do the other side. Got the left handlebar with the damper end out, and we're going to take and slide that in. And we're going to take and engage this tube until it's flush with the end here. Make sure that hardware engages the groove, which it does. And then we will tighten, just snug these up. Remember, nothing's tight yet. Well, first we got to find out where the hole is. Okay, it's the hole straight up and down. So that needs to be more horizontal, like that. Okay, we'll get this back to about flush. Now we got to look in here and line up the hole. Put the other long screw in until we find the hole on the other side. And right here you want to push and hold that hex bolt in place. Okay, you have to try this a few times and then snug that down. Just snug is good for now. Now we're going to take the master cylinder. This has the reverse, we'll leave that dangling for now. Put this guy into position. The little hole, tapped hole, goes down. Put this into position. Get your torque screwdriver. Make that adjustment, and then just tighten her up. Find the small screw. Put your reverse lever cover back in place. Followed by the damper weight. For that, we're going to use a T45. Okay, so we're ready. This is not a torque wrench, but you're going to use your torque wrench. You're going to set it to 18 foot-pounds. You're going to torque the forward two first. Then you're going to do the rear two. Torque that. We've made our adjustments back and back this way. So we're now going to torque these 10mm screws down here. This takes an 8mm head. We're going to torque those to 22 foot-pounds. Both sides. Now we're going to grab our 6mm and we're going to torque this single pinch bolt on both sides. This is what tightens this motion down. And then up here, we're going to do these to 12 foot-pounds.